Hello and welcome to Talking Around the Table in the middle of a studio. I'm your host, Cooper Maahs. Today our guest is Assistant Professor of Theater, Director of Theater Production, and he's also very heavily involved in the community. Please welcome David Walker. David, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. How's it going?
It's going, just sitting around the table in the middle of the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So, you're pretty involved in the community, but let's talk about how you started, where you're from, maybe how you started getting involved in community from a young age, maybe. Or
I grew up in the Kansas City area, out in a little town called Blue Springs, Green Valley region, just away outside of Kansas City. As far as starting to be involved in working and being part of something bigger, I actually started as a volunteer for the local hospital.
Oh, really?
And I worked for every different department in the hospital. I learned as many different departments as I could just for fun. Mm-hmm. And then I became the student volunteer coordinator. So I would bring students in, train them, and then put them into the hospital. And from there, after I graduated, I decided that I would actually pursue nursing as a degree, with the idea that I could take that on the road and work in film, which is my love. Mm-hmm. So I started down that path. Different things evolved along the line, and I ended up jumping out of medicine and straight into film at the University of Arkansas. So I was able to...
Go Hogs.
Yeah, that's right. Finish my degree at the University of Arkansas in communication and film. And then because of doing some work in the area in theater, I was asked to come and be what's called an assistant technical director in theater. And actually, I worked towards a master's in theater in that area. So finished my degrees there. I have worked in different capacities as far as designer, director, film, different areas. Followed my wife to the University of Kansas and worked professionally there. And then we sent letters out when Bethany was looking for a job, and we actually found one here at BV. Her family was actually goes back here in Storm Lake as early as the 1880s.
Really?
And
1880s. Wow.
And so when we sent out letters, we sent one here, and they were looking for somebody who could teach public speaking and design sets, and that's basically my world. So we moved here 22 years ago, and I've been involved here on campus in all kinds of different capacities, but also have moved out into the community and worked in the community in different capacities as well.
So you've worked in different capacities, council member, on different boards. Mm-hmm. So you've been heavily involved. How do you get students, and how should students really get involved, and how does someone like me or any of the people working camera here get involved in our community?
One of the things that people don't really realize is that you have three different things that you can give. One is you can give time, you can give talent, or you can give treasure. Mm-hmm. College students don't have money.
No, we don't. So, we have no treasure.
No treasure. But so they can't help very much on the money part. But they might have time. Now, granted, you got a lot of classes.
Well, not during finals week.
Exactly. Not there. Not there. But time and treasure, or time and talent, are the two things that you have. And so once you've discovered that, then you have to figure out where do you want to use that. Mm-hmm. We just are doing the glass slipper shop, which is helping people get ready for prom. Mm-hmm. That takes some time because you have to go out and find the dresses, clean the dresses, put them up, get them around. But if that's important to you and you worked a lot with your high school proms and things like that, that's a great place to go and work. Mm-hmm. Or if you're interested in animals, you could go over to the TLC shelter in Newell and help them because they're always looking for help. So if you can learn something in 5 minutes and be able to repeat it, mm-hmm. you can go and you can work in about any different volunteer situation around the city or around the county very quickly. And so it doesn't take a lot of pre-knowledge. It takes a lot of ability to go out there and spend that time getting things done. So don't be afraid to join or to go and at least experiment and see what you might like, because that's what they need, is they need the people that can actually physically do some of the work. they've got a lot of people who can donate money, and there's a lot of people who donate their talents that are professionals in the area, but they don't have a lot of people who can donate their time. And that is the biggest problem that we have in the city, is people don't realize that they're worthy. They have something, they have a resource that we can use in the community to make the community a better place.
Just get involved, because I think, you know, a lot of college students, we do have a lot of free time, and we get way more involved than
well,
this.
and it doesn't have to be, you know, hundreds of hours. It could be an hour or two a week. I mean, it's easy enough to get involved.
So you've been a council member. You've been all over the community. How's that really, you know, affect your life? You learned a few things.
One of the things that being a council member for 2 terms taught me is that the speed at which I want to work and the speed in which the world works are 2 different speeds. Because you have to, when you're working with a constituency that's much larger than, say, you know, a club or something like that, you have to weigh in all of those different people. You have to weigh in all of the different agencies that have some type of impact on that particular decision.
Everyone has a voice. You're only as fast as your slowest member. Kind
Exactly.
Of deal.
And so between the writing of the statutes, or the writing of whatever the document is, vetting the document within the groups, setting it out for public opinion, and then voting on it, it's like 6 to 8 weeks between start and finish. So it could be something that we really wanted to get done today, but it's going to take us at least 6 to 8 weeks to get it through.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't have patience for.
Patience is a virtue.
And that was the one thing that I learned pretty quickly, is that you need to take time to make sure that it gets done right, but also that everybody gets to weigh in. So everybody gets that voice.
So what do you do here around campus? You've been here a while.
I started out teaching public speaking and designing for the theater department. Over time, I've moved to 100% just in theater. But the one thing that I noticed when I came in is that there was a void of someone to help make the university events better, more efficient, more beautiful, something that we could be proud of. And so I asked if I could become involved in those areas. And over time, we keep adding new things and doing different things to make it better. And so graduations, Founders Days, American Heritage, next year is going to be a really big year with the 125th anniversary of the institution, and Leon Panetta coming to be our American Heritage lecturist. So those events fall to me to make sure that they look good, that they're produced well, and that everybody feels fabulous about it afterwards.
No pressure or anything. You just got to make sure it's perfect. In
Exactly.
every way. Don't fail us.
That's right. Usually in something like that, you make 2 plans, one that is the best optimum one, and one that will work. And if you have to scoot back to grab that other plan because something fails, you still look good, but it's, we are the only ones that know that it could have been better. So.
Hey, every time you can just be like, I could have done that better, but everyone else is going, wow, this is great.
Yeah, that's the key. You know where the glitches were, and so you remember those, and hopefully next time it doesn't happen. So.
Yeah. So what do you like doing around here?
I love working with students. Students are our best resource. It's also fun to teach people, and I'm not one of those people who love to just stand in front of a class and just talk at people. I like to engage people and say, hey, go look at this, or let's have some fun with this, or what do you guys feel about this? And it's interesting because students go, I have to have an opinion? And that's one of the things that, again, people don't realize, that they're 18 years, 19 years old. They've got some ability to say, this is important to me. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. And just because you don't know very much about a subject doesn't mean that you can't have an opinion. You just have to find out the why to go with that opinion, so it adds even more value to it. So
that's all the time we have, David. I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we have been talking around a table in the middle of a studio where we talk about issues and learn about people in our community. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Cooper Maahs, and I hope to see you next time.